welcome to Crochet Moments. This is episode 43 and I am Helen. I am a crocheter and knitter living in Leicester in the United Kingdom, and it's been a lovely sunny day, hence the t-shirt. And I've just noticed my hair is all frizzy, so I'll probably be fiddling with it all the way through this episode. So it's a big day today. I'm filming this on Friday the 13th and it's Emily's birthday. She did want to be in the video, but she got into the bath. I believe she's rushing out of the bath, getting changed into her pyjamas so that she can come. So we may be interrupted briefly shortly. So yes, so we've got balloons everywhere and not too many toys. We've not got too many toys this year. We focused on just a couple of items instead of a big pile of things. She has enough things. So yes, so that's been great. It's been fun. It was lovely seeing her open her presents this morning and her cards. With the reaction she was getting just opening her birthday cards, I think she could very easily have just happily sat opening birthday cards all morning rather than having presents to open as well. I can hear running around upstairs. I think that might mean we'll be interrupted very soon. Oh, talking of which, hello.
Hello.
Oh dear. So, what have you got to say for yourself today?
It's my birthday.
And have you had a good day?
Yeah.
And what has been the best bit of the day?
Opening presents and opening cards.
And what have you liked the most about your cards and presents?
About cards about how much money I got.
Oh, you got some money, didn't you, to spend? And who's this you've got? This was one of your presents, wasn't it?
It's a squishmallow.
And what's your squishmallow's name?
Well, on the tag it was...
Prim.
Yeah. But I named it Star.
Star. Oh, that's a very nice name. So you're going to finish getting ready for bed? Yeah.
I just washed myself and dried myself and got into pyjamas.
Wow! All without Daddy's help? Wow, you really are a big girl now. You normally need help, don't you? Okay then, my darling. Night night.
Night night.
Sweet dreams. Don't forget to close the door. Oh, bless. She is adorable. Or at least she has been today and the last couple of days, because we told her that if she was naughty, she wouldn't get any presents. So anyway, this is usually my channel where I don't talk about my children. I do, though they do get mentioned occasionally. This is the place where I like to talk about all of the yarny things that I have been up to. I crochet, I knit, I do occasionally cross stitch. I've dabbled in dressmaking, but not recently. And so I would like to say a big hello to all of my returning subscribers, and also a hello to my new subscribers. My numbers are slowly creeping up. I'm not racing ahead as some of other podcasters are, but I appreciate that this is a very crowded market and there are so many amazing people to watch that it's hard to just pick a couple, because I know myself, I'm a week behind on my video. No, more than a week behind watching on my podcasts that I follow, that I subscribe to. So obviously if you are new here and are not already subscribed, hit subscribe. There is a little bell button that you can press so that you'll get an alert whenever I release a new video. I do try to release my podcasts every 2 weeks, though occasionally the gaps can be a little longer if life and other stuff gets in the way. So let's get on with some knitting and crochet talk. So I don't have huge amounts to talk about today. So I don't know if that means I'm not going to be sat for ages editing this. I have no finished objects. I have 2 knit whips and I have 2 crochet whips. That's correct, isn't it? Yes, 2 knit whips, 2 crochet whips. And so I think I will first of all just go over. So some of you may not have seen my previous episodes. So I primarily choose what I'm working on using a decision wheel on an app on my mobile phone. And I have got all of my active whips in there, and oh, excuse my nails, I've just realised I painted my nails for some photographs last week and they're all peeling and I haven't cleaned them off yet. They're in right state. Anyway, yes, so I use whip wheel. I call it my whip wheel, and I will use that decision wheel to tell me what I'm working on and how many days I'm going to work on it for. So that I've gone back to that. I left it for a little while because I wanted to see a couple of particular items finished. But now I don't have anything in particular that's urgent, that needs finishing. So I'm just flittering from project to project again. So first project is the one that's closest to me. And if I'm honest, it's the thing I'm the most excited about. It's my current Amigurumi project. So let's find a picture. It's not a great picture because it is black and white. But I am making one of these elephants. How cute are they? I'm actually going to be making 2. And both of them with the trunk pointing up because my friends at work have requested a trunk up elephant because in their culture trunk up is lucky. So this is a free pattern. Any patterns or yarns or anything like that I talk about that can be linked to are all in the description box below. So underneath the video you'll see like a little down arrow. If you press that, everything is linked there. There's also chapters. I never actually said this before, but he's very technical. I haven't got a clue how it works, but he's worked out how to do chapters. So if you wanted to skip to a particular part, then you just have to go down below. Anyway, well, maybe this could be long. I just keep rambling on. I haven't had a rambly episode for a little while, have I? Maybe I should just do that today. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the designer, but the patterns are available on, what were they? Craft Passion. So it's in the watermark just in there. And there's literally hundreds of fantastic free Amigurumi patterns. And what I love about this, just use this as because there's no written pattern on this section. This is just an example of the detail this goes into. So this is a photo tutorial for how to assemble the ears. So the ears are, you'll crochet the inner circle first and then the outer circle, and then you crochet them both together for a couple of rounds, and then when you fasten off you have to sort of sew them into this scooped section here, and that's the level of detail you get in the instructions. So I would definitely recommend, even if this particular pattern doesn't take your interest, if you're new to Amigurumi and want to branch out into something with a little bit more adventure to it, or even if you're learning Amigurumi, there are several patterns there that are ideal for beginners as well. So you just have a look. There's literally hundreds of patterns. I did go down a rabbit hole and I've seen several things that I will want to make. But this is going to be the first elephant. She's so cute. I do have to keep sort of moulding her trunk up a little bit. Look at her. She just needs legs and a tail and then she's done. So my next crochet rotation, so I'm just starting a section of knit, which is going to be my 10 stitch square blanket. But when I finished the however many days I spun for that one, she'll get worked on. So you'll have 3 days, so easily get her finished in 1 day. So that gives me 2 days to start the other one. So here she is. So this yarn here is Hayfield Spirit DK. The main colour is the Aldi DK, and I have used almost a whole 100 gram ball of this. So this is Dove Grey. It's 100% acrylic. There's about 300 meters of yarn on the ball. So this is definitely a yarn eater, for there's a lot in there. But what amazes me is just how well I've managed to put her together. So the head, you crocheted the whole head in just this shape, and then the mouth, the tusks and the ears are all done separately. And I'm actually quite pleased with how I've placed those. They're not too unevenly. There is a slightly bigger gap from the mouth by this tusk than this tusk, but I think and I just love the ears, and I can't wait to take her in and give her to the lady who's requested her. I'm planning on just doing them as a gift, but I have a suspicion that she'll try to pay for them for her, but she's a gift and she's a beautiful gift. And just ever since I finished the head, all the add-ons for the head, and I've sewn her together, I can't stop taking her out of the bag and looking at her. She is adorable. Whether or not I could face making a third one for myself, I'm not sure. Plus I'm not sure if I've got any more of this Dove Grey. This might have been my last ball of the Dove Grey. I love her. I love her so much. Hello. So yeah, definitely highly recommend the designer for these. Oh, and the white that I'm using and the pink is just years old stash. Just yarn that's been sat on. So I like this one because it's got a sparkle on it. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. And then this is just a plain white DK. Not sure what brand. It's almost definitely a 100% acrylic. I haven't got a clue what brand. I don't recall a time when it had a ball band. So that's yes, I am completely and utterly in love with these Amigurumis. And I definitely feel that's over the we're getting on for nearly 2 years now that I've been doing my podcast. My amigurumi skills have definitely improved, and that's just by keeping a hand in, making sure I've always got an amigurumi project on the go, and just sort of pushing myself out of my comfort zone and trying. If it goes wrong, there's no harm in it going wrong. I've had some really wonky amigurumis in the past, but these, she's just so beautiful. So that's that particular project. Okay, so shall I do knit or crochet next? let's do a knit project next. This is living in a rather full bag actually. This is my I Love Knitting bag. This is an Aldi cotton tote. I think it cost about £2 to buy. It's something that they do get on a regular basis. I think there's at least once a year that they get lots of yarn and craft related things. So in this bag I have all of the 4 Seasons knit along patterns and yarns to make those patterns, which is why this bag is rather full and heavy. Because we have 6 magazines and 600 grams of yarn. So the current knit along pattern that I'm at, these are from the Knit Now magazine. Let me find the cover. And it ran from which issue? 127, I'm wanting to say. I could be wrong, it could be 126. No, from issue 129. No, that's right, because I did things a little wrong way around. Apologies. I had the same confusion when I was sorting out yarns for all of my projects. So it's Knit Now from issue 129 and it went for 8 issues. There are 4 shawl patterns and 4 socks patterns. I've already made one of the socks patterns. That was the Corallium socks, which I knitted in the Dinah's Home of Crafts Nameless yarn, which I still have some scraps of in a bag over there, and I keep seeing it and thinking, I want to knit with that again. And I did not do the shawl that was in issue 130. Was it 128? 130. I will find out and float a number around in front of my face because I don't know. I haven't even been drinking yet. And, oh, I really like that jumper. Simon doesn't like that jumper, so I need to find a man to make it for. Or I could make it for myself, I suppose. Anyway, yes, so 4 shawls, 4 socks. There is one of the shawls that will not be made. There was an error in the pattern and I couldn't, the errata wasn't ever printed in a subsequent magazine. For some reason, it doesn't read right on the screen when I try downloading it. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, so I gave that one up for lost. So these are the Cashmeri Socks. They are very beautiful. They are designed by Michelle Hazel. I think I've made a couple of pairs of her things. So here it is. So this is the Cold Fall yarn, which is the Rico Superba Cashmeri Luxury Sock. And this is how much I have left so far. I love this yarn so much. I am definitely going to be looking into getting some more of this. It's so amazing. So here is my first finished sock out of the pair. So I finished this one a little while ago. So basically the design is that you knit and then on the rows where what stitches that have the colour, you purl, which just creates this lovely ridged pattern, which is completely random and beautiful. And I am on the heel flap of the second sock. So I am keeping these in my DP & Cozy from Pickle Lily. I love her needle cozies. I'm hoping to get to at least one yarn show during the summer, and I'm going to hope that she's there. I don't really need any more needle cozies, but I would just like some more designs. So here is the sock. So like I said, it's got the, I'm still on the heel flap. So these ones are a ribbed heel flap with a standard gusset. I prefer the heel flap and gusset design socks. They fit my feet very well. I'm not averse to trying other ways of knitting heels because I want to learn all the different methods. But for wearing, for me anyway, I am more comfortable in a heel flap and gusset. The short row heel doesn't suit my foot terribly well, and neither does it suit Catherine's foot terribly well either. The Crochet socks that I made are a short row heel. Is it German short row heels, I think it was. Yes, they don't. She loves wearing them because she loves the feel of the yarn and she loves the pattern in the sock. But she's not too keen on the heels. They said it pulls down a little bit. Although her feet have grown since I finished them. So as I have this bag here, let's just run through, and I've only got a couple of other things to talk about. Let's just go through the other patterns. So there is the Marrow Berries shawl. And that will be done in the called for yarn. So I got the yarn as a free gift when I subscribed to the Knit Now magazine. The yarn gift was one of the main reasons for me subscribing, because I really wanted to take part in a knitting knit-along. Knitting knit-along? Of course it's a knitting knit-along if it's called a knit-along. I'm always taking part in the Crochet Now's Crochet Along. And I just thought it would be nice to see how a knit-along went with the magazines. This one, I like the patterns and I like the yarn. It doesn't work well as a knit-along though, because the amount of time I actually spend working on them takes me away from my other whips. So I've just stopped trying to keep up with them, which is why I have all of the magazines now, because it's not running anymore. So this is the yarn that's going to be used for that shawl anyway. The Premium Meline from Superba. This was going to be the Crochet Socks. So for the most part, I'm doing called for yarn for the socks and then stash yarn, nice fancy hand-dyed yarn for the shawls. But this one is going to be for the shawl. Then we have the Caravanserai socks. Now I'm not sure how I'm going to go knitting with the yarn for this, because the yarn for this it's a 15% alpaca. I'm hoping it's a low enough alpaca. It's not as bad as a full alpaca, but I can feel it reacting in my hands. But I'm committed to it. I don't want to waste the yarn. I will power through it. They're shorty socks. So they're going to be made with larger needles because they're for indoor socks. And these are going to be made small as well because I'm knitting them for Catherine. So and then any leftover yarn, if Catherine wants to get back into some weaving, she can use that. And then there is, where's the knit along pattern? Come on, where is it? So this is the Nymph Shawlette. So that is the shawl designed for this yarn. But I am going to use this yarn because I love this colour, and I think it's not too variegated to detract from this lovely lace pattern that's on here. So I can only hope and pray that there's no errata for that. I haven't noticed any apologies or anything, and I don't think there was for the other errata. So that's the yarn I'm going to use for that one. And then this one, knit along, knit along, knit along. Boo, boo, boo. Page 38. So these are the Shaker socks, which are really nice looking. Whether or not I'm going to enjoy them, I don't know, because it looks kind of like a ribbish pattern. We all know that I don't like lots and lots of rib, but I'll give them a go, and that is going to be in the called for yarn, which is the Superba Premium Superwash. So I've got a 50-gram ball of each of those in the yarn pack. And then the last one is the shawl that goes with, was designed for those patterns. Is there a better picture than that? Ah, yes, there we go. So there it is. I really like that. I like that one a lot. So it has to go with some yarn that I like a lot. And it's my last Alice in Wonderland subscription yarn is going to get used for that. So that was the Bill the Lizard and Drink Me bottle. I thought they would work well, really, really nicely together as a contrast. So I'm going to use some of that. Could be the first, assuming I don't before I start anything with some other spin dye yarns of my subscription yarns before then. So I can't wait to get down this pile of knitting. I'm looking forward to having a go at a couple of the shawls. Though I was wondering if I should work through all of the socks first. I'm not sure. I'll have to see how I go, because I do have a few shawls already kitted up upstairs in my craft corner. I'll call it my craft corner. So let's pop everything back away in this bag, and it will only just about do up. So there we go. There's that one. There's that one done. Okay, so I have 2 more whips to show you, and no incoming. No incoming. I've been a good girl, which means I've been a boring girl, really, doesn't it? So my next project is a crochet project, and it is living in my Emma ball bag. I love this bag so much. It's so fun. All the friends knitting together. And the pattern I am following is in the Shape Years Yarn Bookazine Macro Botanica. This was number... what number was this? Number 11. This one was. And it's so fun. There is a lot, as you can tell from all the post-its. There are a lot of things in here that I want to make. It is... oh gosh. There's instructions. Designed by Lynn Rowe of knitcrochetcreate.com. So I can't remember if I've linked an individual just for this particular pattern. So this is what it's supposed to look like. It's really pretty, very lacy, and it's a wrap that can be worn lots of different ways. And it is looking beautiful. Whether or not I would look that good in it, I don't know. Oh, it's all tangled up in my hooks. So it's created using a 2.5 and a 3mm hook. So I'm just using, this is one of my soft handled cheapies from, I think, the range. And this is one of my Crochet Society hooks. I love the Crochet Society hooks. The boxes I fell out of love with. I just found them a little repetitive, and it was always rather cheap yarn. But the hooks, I love the hooks. And this is being made with my bargain bucket yarn from AJ Yarn. Then I bought this from her in 2019 in my very first yarn show visit, which was in Nottingham in November of 2019. And this is a lace weight yarn. Its colour is blackcurrant. Just look at that. It's a 50-50 merino silk blend, and it's very, very soft. And I'm just about getting used to working with something so thin, because I don't normally work with very thin yarns. Oh, it's getting all tangled up. Right, okay. Can't remember what direction this should be going. It will need a block once I've finished this section. So it's looking a little bit straggly at the moment. Can't quite make out the different motifs that are there. So there are 25 of these motifs. That's okay, Simon's just come down from putting Emily to bed. So as I was saying, there are 25 of these motifs, and now I am on the outer edge of that centre square. So it's just a lot of chains going round, and then I'll block it to size, which will be an experience because I'm not naturally a blocker. I do block some things if I feel I have to, and I am going to have to with this if I want to knit up a little. But yes, I also need to sew in all those ends. I was so lazy and not sewn in all the ends. But I'm really enjoying making this. It's not something that I would ordinarily make, but I was just really drawn to it. Sorry, my yarn fell on the floor. I was drawn to it, and it being a lace weight pattern, I have been looking for the perfect pattern for this yarn for a while, and I think this yarn works really well for this. Once it's blocked, it will definitely. And I've got a couple of stitch markers on here. This one is this is one I got from Dina's Home of Crafts in one of my mini scheme boxes, which I don't get anymore because they're building up and I'm not using them. And I'm running out of space in the box I'm keeping all of my mini skeins in, my 20 gram minis anyway. And all my 10 gram minis are just going into the bag with my blanket balls for making the coziest memories. If I'm remembering that right. I'm always saying it wrong. And this one is a little milkshake. And this is one I bought for Catherine back when she was going to be doing all this knitting and then lost interest. So I stole them back for myself. So that's that project. And my last project to talk about is living in my bag from Soffity. She made me this bag last year as a birthday present, and I love it so much. And I just felt it wasn't getting enough airtime, so I moved my 10 stitch blanket into here because that seems to be coming up on my wheel quite a lot recently. So I thought I am going to use this. So it has an echidna on one side and a beautiful platypus on the other, and she's given me a really lovely kangaroo keyring there. And I still have your letter in here, Soffity. It's still in here, and I do take it out occasionally to read it. So this is being made. Now I've put the other 2 balls of yarn from my shelf in here now so I can show you properly the yarn. This is the Hayfield Spirit double knitting. This is the same yarn that I used on the body of my elephant. Any excuse to show her off again. This is, oh, it doesn't have a colour name, it just has shade 0408. That's inspiring, isn't it, considering how beautiful these colours are. I absolutely love the colours in this yarn. It's stunning, beautiful colour. And it's 100%, no, it's 100 grams. There are 345 metres. It's 80% acrylic and 20% wool. So 345 metres is quite a lot for a 100 gram ball. And the yarn is really soft. And as you can see, it's not staying in its ball terribly well. The ball that I'm using, I'm working from the outside because trying to do a centre pull on this yarn would be nigh on impossible, because these they just fall off of each other. Then it's not tightly wound at all, but I don't care. It's beautiful yarn. And this is my progress. So as you can see, that's what happens. You get, and it can get into a bit of a tangle, so it's one of those things you have to balance out. You love the beautiful yarn, but do you want the not so beautiful mess falling off the yarn? Okay, and here is my 10 stitch blanket. Let's get it the right way around. This is fairly good for mindless knitting. I almost made a boo-boo on this corner. I don't know what I decided to do this first thing in the morning on a corner and started to join it up rather than as I was going straight, and I was like, what's happening here? So I had to rip back, and yeah, so here it is. And I just love how the colours work together so far, and I'm just going to keep going until I run out of yarn, and I'm going to see how big it is and possibly buy more yarn of the same colour, same brand and colour if I can get it, and just keep going until it's really big, really, really big. Because with energy bills going up the way they are, we're not going to want to put the heating on terribly much in the winter. So as many very large double bed sized blankets as I can make over the next few months, the better. So that's that. So while we are on the theme of blankets, my blanket along will be starting in a few weeks. So I will be posting an official video for this next week. Same as I did last year, it would probably just be a quick 10-15 minute video explaining how the make along is going to work. But I'll just discuss it here, seeing as I'm out of things to talk about. So my blanket along, I did it last year, and my subscribers who took part really enjoyed it, and at least one of them has asked if we'll do it again. So I haven't officially found a blanket to make along for my blanket along. I haven't started my Winter Wonderland blanket, which is mosaic crochet, and it's a Christmas themed one. Now I was thinking I might start that. If anybody wanted to join me, they could. I've also, although that would mean buying more yarn, which Simon's not too keen on the idea of me doing. I did recently, fairly recently, I can't remember if I showed it to you, I downloaded a blanket pattern of some elephants with a lotus flower, and it's very, very beautiful. I don't know if can I really justify buying the yarn when I have yarn to make things already? don't know. Is the answer to that. I don't know. I may have to pick something else. But yeah, so I've got my Winter Wonderland blankets. If anybody has any suggestions of a blanket that a number of us can do together, support each other through the making of, by all means, make any suggestions you like, either under this video or under the next video for the announcement of the blanket along. So my blanket along lasts from the end of May, so from the 31st of May to the 31st of August. So I will be picking a winner from the Instagram tag, which I need to check that it hasn't been pinched by anybody, but last year was Crochet Moments Bal, because we're calling it a blanket along, and with the year, so if I put the year at the end, 2022, I don't think that will have been used. So I will set up that hashtag and ready for next time. And you post all your whip pictures, your finished object pictures, inspiration pictures, all in that hashtag. And all of the whips and finished objects will get entered into a prize draw. Now, last time I had 2 prizes, but not very many people took part. So instead of having 2 prizes, I'm going to have 1 big prize. I haven't finalised which one I'm getting yet, but I have decided that I am going to buy the yarn pack for one of the Crystals and Crochet, so designed by Helen Shrimpton, for one of her blankets. Now, they do have the Cosmic Cowl yarn packs still available. I've made that blanket. It's an amazing blanket to make, and it's a free pattern. If I do decide on one of the other yarn packs, I will also include the pattern in there as well. So that's all to play for. It will be open internationally, so anybody can take part. All I ask is that you be a subscriber to this channel and follow me on Instagram, because you'll need to be on Instagram to post on the hashtag. So if you follow me on Instagram, subscribe to me here, and so it'd be great to see people's input in this. If you're not on Instagram, and I know there are some people who are not, you can submit your entries to me by email. All of my contact details are down below in the description box, and you don't have to just be emailing me about stuff like that. I love hearing from all of my crochet and knitting friends out there in the world. I love hearing from people. Anyway, I've been wittering on now for a little while, and I'm dying for a drink. We had pizza, takeaway pizza for dinner tonight. It was so salty. So my mouth is very, very dry with all this talking as well. So I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to get some knitting. And then I'm going to chill out, maybe watch some TV with Simon if he's not. I think he's gone out gardening, so I might even be able to sneak a podcast or 2 through on YouTube while he's doing that. So I shall see you all again properly in a couple of weeks, but do look out next weekend sometime for my blanket along announcement. So I shall see you again soon, and I hope you all have a lovely time crafting whichever craft it is that you do. So bye bye.